you have a phenomenal piece on the on Vox right now talking about the contrast difference between the Oscars and the Golden Globes. And would you share that with the listeners? Because as a, someone who studied film for almost like 7 years now and just graduated film, I had no idea about any of this. So can you please share this with our listening audience?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people think the Golden Globes are important because they show them, they kind of express themselves as being important, but it's sort of a cyclical thing. So the Globes are on TV, and because they're on TV, they seem important. And so because they seem important, they're on TV, and it kind of goes in a circle, right? But the
Yeah.
Globes are actually picked by, the number is 87 this year,
Wow.
in 87 people in an organization called the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. There was a really tremendous, wild investigation by the LA Times this Sunday about who's in it. So first of all, for instance, there are no black people in the HFPA,
Mm.
which is interesting. It's an organization of people who are all based in Southern California and all cover Hollywood in some capacity for a foreign outlet. But nobody really knows who's in the group. Some of the people don't really work in the industry barely at all. They take a lot of kickbacks. And so, the reason that they're still talked about is that NBC pays them a lot of money to put their show on the air. And movie studios love to try and court them to get visibility, because there's only 87 of them. So you can contrast that with the Academy, um, that picks the Oscars. So the Film Academy, that group has almost 10,000 members, and all of those members,
10,000 to
yeah.
86.
Huge difference. And now
Mhm.
knowing there's no black people on the foreign press here, now I can
Yes.
see why Defy
Yes.
Blood.
Now
What
they're
is
only
this?
shooting
Exactly.
themselves in the holster. They have the gun in the holster and they keep continually
Yes.
shooting themselves in the foot. That is
Right.
by
And so
far.
10, and they're not even, they're 10,000 people who've worked in the film industry, right? You're not, there are no journalists in the Academy. There are no critics in the Academy. It's just people who've, they're a director, they're a writer, they're an actor, maybe they're a producer or a publicist. People who actually work in the industry can be in the Academy. That's a different group of people. They're going to have a different group of picks, and they have different ways of thinking about the best films of the year. Um, and the Golden Globes also cover TV. And if you compare this to the Emmys, the TV Academy, I believe, has about 25,000 people in it. So there's just a
Wow.
big, big difference there. And that helps to explain why the Golden Globes picks are always really wild and wacky. But also, one thing the LA Times report said was, a lot of people were confused by why Emily in Paris, which is not a good show. I mean, you can watch it, it's fun, but it's definitely not great TV. Like, why was it getting all these Golden Globe nominations? And it turns
That's
out
the one
that
with Michelle Pfeiffer.
no, this is the TV show with
Oh,
Lily Collins, where she
thank you.
goes to Paris and she's a kind of annoying American Instagram influencer there. They Paramount Networks, which made the show before they sold it to Netflix, flew 30 of the 87 members to the set in 2019 and put them up in a hotel that costs $1,400 a night.
Wow.
So that tells you a little bit about what kind of a group it is.
So what we're learning now is the People's Choice Awards has more credibility than the Golden Globes, it seems like. With only eight,
Yeah.
like, that's crazy.